Good afternoon, folks, and welcome along to another episode of The Young Farmer. My name is Andy, and today, well, we're going back out. We've got the fast track for a little bit longer. There's a couple of jobs I want to do with it. I want to be able to try and drill, direct drill at least half of this field. I want to give that a go, see how that works, do my own land with it, and do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison. But first, we're going to go and see Gary, the local farmer, because he knew I was getting this in on a test, and he wanted to see how it kind of rise up to the challenge of pulling the big subsoiler he has. He has a monstrous Massey he pulls on, like something like 280, 290 horsepower Massey. So he wanted to see how we'd fare up against that. So I was only too happy to come along. We're actually going into this field directly in front of us here eventually, but we need to go and just pop up to the yard first. And no, it's not. I'm sorry, it's the one down the road. Beg your pardon. But we need to go up to his yard first to go and pick up the implement in question that we can use just to see how it's going to fare up. Really, love the speed in this tractor. It's absolutely stunning. We'll get on those brakes there. We'll slow ourselves down. And they're on the corner. So yeah, we're going to come into the field there. We're pulling a subsoiler. I think it's a 5 or 6 leg subsoiler, and it's going to take some grunt. What he wants us to do is we're going to work out the headlands or the tram lines and see how it fares up there. We might work out the tram lines. I think he wants us to go against on the angle of the tram lines after that, because there's a bit of the land that's got a really heavy pan to it and it just needs breaking up a touch. So he told me that we're going around the corner here, and it's parked out in the lane for some reason. We'll track down towards one of his fields. So we'll have a look-see. Over here, that's what we're picking up. It's a bit of a brute. It's about 4 meters in width, so we've got to be careful with it when we take it on the road. But yeah, this is going to take some pulling. It just looks mean, frankly. Nice actual view of the back end there. Alright, so we'll go get this all hooked up here, and we'll have a look-see at it. And see if this fast track can actually pull its weight, really. Alright then, so we're all hooked up here. We're just going to take our time, going nice and slowly. Back through the yard there. It is that field that we're going to actually that we passed on the left hand side there. But yeah, like I say, we'll just take our time. Look how wide this thing is. It's an absolute brute. Ooh. Let's straddle the old grain bin. Make sure we got our lights on though. We want people to know that we're coming with this. And around we go. So like I say, yeah, we're just going to rumble on over there. We'll give it a go, put it to its test really, so see how it's going. I've used this a little bit since we last spoke, and I do really like it actually. It's a very nice machine. So we'll go into here. Very, very nice machine indeed. I could really see us getting one of these. Cost-wise, I haven't looked into it yet, but yeah, I do really like this a lot. So I'll have to see really, see how it goes. For now though, like I say, field-wise we'll get in, we'll have a bit of a look at it in closer detail, but it's going to be a challenge with that hill, that's for sure. It's going to take some pulling up there. There we go. And what we'll need to do as well is just take it off four-wheel steered, because with the... Ooh, that's a bit tight. When trying to turn, we can't really turn around any corners with the blade, with the chisel points in the ground, and it'll make it particularly difficult when we're in four-wheel steer as well. So we'll have to go into single front-wheel steering only, but that's another problem. What we will do though, is we're going to start ourselves over here. Pull ourselves around. We'll get ourselves set up here. I need to make sure the hydraulics are set up properly and that we're all level, but then we'll get ourselves going. First thing I'll do is take us out of four-wheel steer, which is perfect. So yeah, give me a moment, we'll get everything set up and then we'll come back to you when we're firing and ready to go. Alright then folks, just like that we're all set up, we're ready to go. As you can see, those guide wheels, depth wheels there, are a little bit close to the tractor's wheels for my liking. But other than that we're working. As you can see, we've got, what have we got here? An absolute platter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 chisel legs. Like just a packer roll on the back there as well. I've got it all set up there. I've got the levels set up as I want on the implement, so it should be pretty good. We'll just see. We'll get that door shut though. We should be good to go. We've got our in-cab onboard GPS set up to roll as well, and we'll put that down. Perfect. So we'll get cracking here. Four-wheel drive diff locks are engaged, and we're going to go very slowly. Obviously, it's a little bit faster going down the hill, but yeah. So it's kind of just working over at the minute, working over the tram lines, and then what we'll do once we've gone over the tram lines in this, following the tram lines, breaking those up really deep. We're going to go across them at 45-degree angles as we do the whole field. That's the current plan, at least. So yeah, it's going to really test the JCB today. Bring it down to its knees. Hopefully, it's handling this bit very well, I must say. Be interested to see how it looks when we go back up the hill there, but all in all, it's looking very good indeed. This is something I would love to build up to be honest. If it got to the stage that we brought in a machine of this size and stature, it opens up a whole load of new opportunities. Something like this cultivator would be one of them. So So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye out for possibilities like this moving forward, that is for sure. As we come to the end, that's about to signal that we need to lift up our cultivator, which we will do that. That's great. So this is about just over 4 meters in width, so plenty big enough. Covers the entire tram line as well, and also breaks up the pan around the edges of the tram line, just in case you know, the vehicle is wider than the preset tramline widths maybe, which is good. And then we'll obviously come along and do the bottom headland as well and the top headland before we work this on an angle. Now this is where we could see it start to struggle. What we'll do is we'll just stop here quickly, make sure it's still working in at an angle there that we like. Gotta check these things, make sure it's working properly for you. You want your machine to be doing as much as it could. We could probably shorten that top link a little bit, bring that in a touch, but it should be okay after that. It's looking mightily powerful, I must admit. Fantastic. Well, we're gonna get cracking. We'll see what we can get up to, and we'll see how much this, see if this improves, or see how it all goes for us, really. Yeah, that is looking quite the specimen. I spoke to the salesman, the local area manager salesman for JCB, who organised this demonstration for me, and he was very happy to hear that I had a very positive report thus far. So we're building up a nice kind of rapport there. Hopefully it continues. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully that means we can save a little bit of money on the price of one of these things, because that would be pretty nice. But yeah, we're getting into the hill here as well, and it's not suffering for grip at the moment. I must say, it's still turning the wheels, holding on nicely there, and fighting for grip a little bit, but still, yeah, we've got a big heavy weight on the front there, so a lot of the grip is coming off the front wheels as well. Well, which is great. Quite often, if you don't have enough weight on the front, when you've got a big implement like this in the back, the implement digs in and just lifts the front end of the tractor off the ground, so you kind of immediately lose a good portion of grip there, which is always something obviously you want to try and avoid where possible. With the Variomatic, I can't remember what they call the gearbox in this JCB, but with this gearbox, I can adjust the speed by just tapping forward on the joystick there. So if we get through some lighter land and it's easier going, then I can just lift it up and we'll get through. Hydraulics seem to handle it pretty well, which is always nice. Good to see. And we'll just rumble ourselves around the corner here. Oh, I think we missed a little bit. We'll just kick ourselves back there, get ourselves straightened up. There we go. Excellent stuff. So we'll keep on cracking through this. We'll see how it goes, and then we'll come back to you when we start to work it in the other way and see how it's coming across for us, really. So, yeah, we'll get cracking, and all being well, it shouldn't be too much longer. I think there's only 5 or 6 tram lines in here, and then we'll work across it the other way. Right then, folks, that went pretty well. As you can see there, it's ripped it all up nicely with all the headlands done as well. It is this kind of little bootleg here, this little corner bit that's particularly heavy, and you can really feel the difference when you're working through here. Kind of about when you got to this tram line, actually. When you suddenly broke into this bit of ground here, the difference the tractor would suddenly surge on ahead of you. So what Gary wants us to do is just come through this bit here at kind of 45 angles to what we've worked at already. We're going to go as far as about this headland, or this tram line pass, really, so that should be good enough. We're going to jump back in. This has been handling this setup very nicely, actually, not a problem at all. So we'll continue, we'll see how we get on. Now what I'm going to do, we're just going to kind of reverse back into this corner here, and then we'll pick up a GPS point from there and see how it goes. So let's see. That's perfect, we've got one there. So we're just gonna, we'll do this entire bootleg, see how it fares, get this all wrapped out here, and we should be good. And we'll get it all done. I think we'll go out to, not this first tram line, this second, just to make sure we get it all in there. Will be very interesting to see how this breaks up the pan. With a lot of compaction in this small area, a lot of turning around, the soil just gets pushed down, which means that the water can't drain away through it quite as easily. And it's always something that kind of comes back to haunt you. So the idea being that a plough, when you plough the land up, sometimes can't quite get it through the pan properly. Like a plough will leave like a kind of a solid layer below where the furrows can reach, which you call the pan. This subsoiler here can reach and rip up through that, so it provides some better subsoil, some better drainage, really. Now I think that should just about do it. And we'll turn ourselves around. And hopefully that should be good enough. The rest of this field, I believe, this is going to be direct drilled. So we'll have to wait and see, but that's looking like it's going to be the case. Oh, and it will also be interesting to see the difference between the little section of the field that was subsoiled and the section that has not been. See which one works out best. But yeah, when you come back through the land that you've already passed over, it feels much easier. So much easier, obviously. So yeah, this is going to be the last day we have with this JCB. Like I say, hopefully we'll get on and we'll do a little bit of drilling over in the corner there, put the Amazon back on and test it out for ourselves. But so far, very impressed with this. A lot of people have been asking if we're going to get a John Deere as well to test. I don't think we are, unfortunately. I can't make it work in time. And it wasn't going to be something, like the nearest dealer is about 3 hours away from me, so it's just not something that's practical. I want a dealer that's a lot closer. So yeah, it doesn't look like we'll go for that route, but we'll see how we get on. The choice really is very much going to be between the JCB, and the case, really, for me. The Class Action was a nice tractor, but it doesn't hold a candle to these two. So I think that's what we're going to have to look at. Tomorrow, hopefully, once this goes away, I've got a little bit of an afternoon cleared in the schedule, so I can sit down and review and just see which one we want to go with. And we will do that, and we'll see just how it all works out. See, see how we figure out hire purchase agreements, costs, lease agreements, and everything that kind of goes in between, really. But we'll figure that one all out in due course when we can. And yeah, all being well, we should hopefully get a decision done sooner rather than later. I would like to think so, at least. Okay, we'll just get through that. That's pretty good. Excellent. Yeah, I was very impressed with how quickly we got that field drilled yesterday. That took us about 2 hours to rattle through there. We're absolutely caked through there. It was not a single hardship. The JCB didn't skip a beat, didn't even have to sound like it was stressed or pushed at all. It just kind of flew through there almost nonchalantly. It was great to see, actually. Really, really very impressive. Yeah, it's a nice operating cab. You get a lot of view here. You can see all around you with quite good ease. You are quite high up as well, of course, so that does help. But yeah, the road ride is just superb, actually, very comfortable. And around they go. Excellent. So it's probably about 2 acres, 3 acres we've got to, maybe 2 acres we've got to do in total here. But as you can see, we're kind of sawing our way through it nice and easily. And yeah, then we'll get this taken off. So what we'll do, we'll just finish this all up here nice and quickly. And then we'll go and take the plough back, or the subsoiler back. And then take this back down to the yard. I might even go a long way just because I like driving this thing on the road at the moment. It's such a delight. But yeah, we'll get this all rattled out here. Shouldn't take us too much longer, and then we'll catch up with you down the road. Well then, folks, welcome back. We are all done, and we are just taking our sprayer barrels back. It was parked here when we were doing some harvest work, and we never really picked up until now. We haven't had the need to be honest. So it's just kind of stood outside there, and we're going to take it for a little spin. Because I really just want to, I love driving this fast track on the road, it's glorious. So even though our yard is just around the corner, we're going to take the long way, because we can, and we're going to see how this fares up. It's just so smooth on the road there, it's glorious to drive, and also not to mention just how quick it can be as well. It's absolutely staggeringly quick. Fast tracks were always, in my mind, always a road tractor first and foremost. And it sure is coming out that way as well. Like you can really tell the power and the speed these things have is frightening. So we'll run a little bit more. There we go. And yeah, we'll just take a. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's stop there. Excellent, so away we go. Even with the tank on the back there, which has a little bit of water in, I think it still skips along. Absolutely flies along the road here. Takes sometimes when going at speed, it takes a little bit getting used to the four-wheel steer. I will admit that, but quite often when we go into the road, I think I might just put it into front-wheel steer only. Perfect. Yeah, front wheel steer when you're on the roads, that just kind of makes it a little more comfortable for me, if I'm honest. But we'll take this home, and we'll go back through the village. We're going to go slowly through the village. Imagine being in the tractor that can go far too fast for a 30 zone. Good lord. Yeah, we'll take this back to the yard there where we'll get ourselves all parked up, and we're done for the day. So at this stage though, I will say thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Simulationforthenation if you've yet to do so already. And he will be back, and I will be back with a bit of a summary of what potential options we're going to take really, and decide on which tractor we're going to take. And there we go, through the speed limit. So we'll come back to you with more news on the new tractor or new tractor options later on in the week. So until then, do stay safe, enjoy what you're doing as always, but most importantly, happy farming.